Yo, you won't see this on other channels, and if you do, it's too late. Did you know that the TV man and T-woman from the SKIBIDI toilet universe created by DaFuq's were invented 2 years ago and first appeared in a clip called BLUGREY'S, which DaFuq removed from the channel for some reason. In this clip we can see DaFuq in his canon skin and the black and white world that surrounds him, but the interesting thing is that the agents are not well represented here, as the system that DaFuq's is going up against. Let's break down the details of this clip and try to understand its meaning and maybe connect it to the SKIBIDI toilets. My name is NEMI, grab something delicious, we're going against the system. So the clip from source filmmaker called BLUGREY'S begins with DaFuq's standing and looking out the window at the city, which is probably Golden City by Garris Mod. He sees the aftermath of some kind of confrontation in the streets, which can be seen by the burning windows and fires in the streets. Observing this picture, his outlook gradually becomes more and more depressing, as can be seen by the smooth transition from color to black and white. DaFuq's decides to end his life and chooses all possible ways to do it. He takes a rope, loads a gun, takes a bottle with poison, but at the very last moment he decides to just jump out of the window. After the fall he stays alive and we realize that he has superpowers like male_07, the most popular character on DaFuq's channel. There are people walking around who don't care about him, it's like they don't see him, so much so that even one of them steps on DaFuq's hand, which is a metaphor for the gray mass where no one cares about anyone else's problems, just soulless zombies. DaFuq gets up and walks down the street, noticing a billboard that says, "Destiny," and below it in small print, "Not for you," which can be interpreted as, "This destiny is not for you." It's as if the universe is giving him signs to realize and go against this system of soulless zombies. He keeps walking down the street and it's like he's at a dead end, and images of falling asleep face down on the keyboard of his work computer flash before his eyes. He was just an office plankton, another link in the system, but now everything is going to change. DaFuq comes back to reality, his eyes once again catching the color palette, and he makes it clear to the system that he is no longer a part of it. We see the first appearance of the agents, the operators. They come out to leave DaFuq behind. He is now potentially dangerous. He must be brought back under the control of the system or destroyed. They come out and confront him, but DaFuq decides to turn around and walk back. But then he gathers his courage and runs straight at the agents to break through their ranks. He succeeds, but then more arrive and surround him. DaFuq picks up a hammer lying on the ground, and an epic battle for freedom begins. DaFuq manages to defeat a few agents, but there are too many of them. But then T-woman comes to the rescue and disarms the remaining agents with his radiation. DaFuq looks at T-woman as a mysterious man in a jacket. T-woman is also part of the system, but he decides to negotiate with DaFuq and convince him to return to his position, so he disarms the agents, but DaFuq remembers how the system breaks the agents' lives of ordinary people. He turns around again and repeats the scatter trick to break through the system's defenses. He flees, scattering agents in his path, but as he is almost out of the system, he sees a huge wall grow in front of him, up to the sky, preventing him from breaking free, but DaFuq gathers all his strength in his fist and breaks the wall. And now he joyfully takes the last steps towards the colored world, but it's not to be. He is stopped by a huge abyss, which means that this system is the whole world, the world he is imprisoned in, and far away on the horizon there is another world, perhaps another universe, which DaFuq will never be able to reach. Having realized this, his world becomes black and white again, and on this oppressive note the clip ends. What can be made of all this? The basic idea of the clip is a good old-fashioned war against the system. By system you can mean anything, the government, the human condition, or our world in general. The agents here are the regime, the dictatorship, the things that don't give freedom, and DaFuq is the one who craves it. Starting with the desire to say goodbye to this world, the protagonist decides to fight for his happiness. Lives of ordinary people. He turns around again and repeats the scatter trick to break through the system's defenses. He flees, scattering agents in his path, but as he is almost out of the system, he sees a huge wall grow in front of him, up to the sky, preventing him from breaking free, but DaFuq's gathers all his strength in his fist and breaks the wall. The interesting thing is that now Skibidi toilets are antagonists and the agents are saving the planet, but from this clip we can conclude that maybe the agents and Skibidi toilets are two sides of the conflict without black and white, because the agents are the system and the Skibidi toilets are not invaders but revolutionaries. In general there are a lot of ideas here, but I think the most interesting is ahead of us. After analyzing this clip I have a great theory that I can relate to male_07. Skibidi toilets and